Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hello to everybody who's already there in the live chat. Great to see you. Hello to all the members of the channel as well. Thank you for being here. Big thank you to the mods as we get going here. I know that Nancy's here, of course, and Mama Opal, and Are You Jellin? And we'll see who else pops in. I think that's what we got for now. Welcome and thank you guys all for your help. If you have a question as we go along, make sure you put question in front of it in all caps and have your question follow so that we can find as many of those as possible and get them answered. I'm Natalie. This is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing. We're going to talk about my 35 years in Scientology and leaving with 3 generations of my family. I also, from time to time, do interviews and other videos collaborating with other creators in this space. So when you hit the subscribe button, please also set that notification bell to all so you get notifications. And everybody who is already here, if we could all, in an orderly fashion, walk over to the like button and give it a little tap, that would be absolutely fabulous. And I appreciate that. Tons to go over today. We are going to be talking about some protest news. We are going to be talking more about the crying cake mom and Scientology's role or not role. Is he a Scientologist? Is he an ex-Scientologist? What is the deal? We're going to look at what Liz GALE had to say about it. We are going to touch on some other news, some legal Scientology stuff, and discuss a very disturbing incident that was witnessed at the Fort Harrison Hotel involving a child. Big surprise. I know, right? Children and Scientology? No. Abuses? No. No. Free labor? No. No. Human trafficking? What? No. Yes. Yes. We're going to cover all of it. So thank you everybody for being here. Now let's kick it off by talking about Oh No Nora. Oh No Nora sat down with her mom, who is an ex-Sea Org member, and her mom spilled the tea. She dished. She said it like it is. The apple did not fall far from this tree. This is what I'm seeing in what I did see in the video. It was fabulous. Her mom talks a lot about her experience in the Sea Org, but she dropped some tea on Scientology Sea Org Security. And I was watching that like, you go, Mama. Oh No Nora. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Listen to what she has to say about that.
Same thing that happened to Jason Mayfield, who used to be the security chief at CC, and then he got demoted to tech.
Yeah, but tech's better than security.
Security.
Bunch of guys driving around in their stupid bicycles doing nothing. What do? They do nothing.
They do a lot, Mom. They hold people hostage.
Excuse me, I used to be internal security for the whole goddamn United States, and I can tell you now that security, they don't do anything.
They do.
They intimidate people.
That's yes.
But is that what is that a product?
How do they keep the stat on that?
How does that get anybody up the bridge or
does it
in on course? It doesn't.
Sure it does. I mean, have you seen the latest? Well, you don't watch all the videos, but now they're just taken to like complete 8C of people if they're talking to protesters. Same.
And 8C, for those who might not know, that means when you physically take a hold of somebody and direct them in the direction that you would like their body to go. It's a technique that Scientologists are trained on at multiple levels. And it's one you'll see often employed by security or Scientologists who realize that one has stepped away from the flock and is potentially having thoughts of their own. Let's get out there and let's 8C them back in. Let's grab them and tell them to come back into the fold. We cannot have that free thinking or that free speech going on.
Thing that happened to Jason Mayfield.
So what's so great about this too, you guys, is that Nora's mom is like a class 6 auditor. And in Scientology, that's a highly trained Scientologist, also a trained, what's called a case supervisor in Scientology. So she worked to program people's cases. Like what would be your next step in Scientology? If somebody's having a hard time with something, auditing wise, what would you do to fix it? That person supervises that. So hearing her really drop the truth bombs is fantastic. Let's look at another clip from this interview with Oh No Nora and her mom.
Truth.
Right.
And so your intention is to help that person. But then you realize you're not helping that person. You're less effective in their own life. That's what you're doing.
Guys, that's from a class 8 auditor, CS. who's just
The class 6 is truth.
right.
And so your intention is to
Yeah, class 6. Amazing. Great interview. Links down below to all the videos we are going to look at clips at, including that one, so you can go watch them in their entirety because they are totally worth it. We always just take a peek. We just take a little peek at things. I took a peek at something that I cannot unsee, and I'm going to share it with you because, you know, I like to share the trauma. We talk ex-Scientologists, right? Me here on SPTV, in and around the community. When you hear people talk about Scientology, it's a lot about how, when you hear from ex-members especially, how they want to take our individuality away and make us one of the whole, one of the collective, like the Borg on Star Trek. We assimilate. That is pretty much the Sea Org in Scientology, taking away that individuality. And it's not about thinking for yourself or your personality or being who you are. It's so much so that I'll tell you this, growing up in Scientology, I didn't even realize that that is what was happening. I didn't have the opportunity to really discover. I'm still figuring out who I am, to be honest. I'm 53 years old. I've been out of Scientology for 14 years. And it wasn't till I left Scientology that I really started realizing, wow, I am an individual. I do have thoughts and feelings that are my own and separate from the group. And my individuality and my preferences make me who I am. My desire to, if I want to wear a hoodie every day, I can. If I want to just wear my hair like this and up because I don't like to style my hair, I can. Whatever those things are, supporting the groups I want to, reading the books that I want to, expressing myself artistically if I want to. All of these things make up who we are as individuals. And in Scientology, especially the Sea organization, that individuality is stripped away. So you can be one of the whole. Well, Scientology is no longer even hiding the fact that that is what they are doing. And that's what they're trying to do when they recruit people, not just for staff or the Sea Org, but for Scientology, period. Because Scientologists can now experience this form of, I guess you would call it maybe brainwashing and mind control, to strip away your individuality and convince you that it's a good idea and something that you wanted. You see how that happens there? They're so good at taking away an individual's thoughts and feelings and desires that they convince you that it's what you need and wanted in the first place. We are going to take a look at something. It's a video promoting the Freewinds, their competency and leadership that they got coming up. We talked about this the other day on the channel, how they're looking for teenagers. They want your teenagers to go to the ship, to the Freewinds. And I saw something recently. I think they have 40 signed up already, is what they were saying, from all over the world, all over the world, all over the world. I stress that because they like to take people's passports away, and the Freewinds is located outside of the United States. So don't think just because you are a U.S. citizen that that's not going to happen to you. So let's take a look at this and talk about it. It just boils my blood. I just can't even with this, but check it out. Let's start it at the beginning. Let's do that. This is the captain speaking, I believe, of the Freewinds. Check it out.
In today's world, people have a tendency to be individuated. So what we do is we take those strong individuals, through drilling and discipline, we take away the individuation, and then we build the strong individual to be a competent leader.
I operate completely different.
Now, oh, I just cannot with this one. I mean, you guys tell me in the comments. If you're catching this on the replay, you jump into those comments. No slacking here. What do you think about that? So I had to look because I was like, exactly what some of you were thinking. Is individuated a word? It is a word. It's not a more common word, but it basically, in fact, you know what? We can just look it up now too. Individuation, because it had a few different meanings. It's like the process by which an individual becomes distinct. Individuation distinguishes you from everybody else. The word individual is a good clue of the meaning of individuation, which is how a being becomes an independent, separate entity. Independent and separate. Scientology doesn't want that. And they're packaging in a way that you don't want it either. They are literally basically selling, like, how far are we into this video? 10 minutes. A kick in the you know where, and telling you you're going to like it. Like, you're going to pay for this. You're going to pay for us to strip away your individuality, which is really so much of what Scientology is. But now they're using it as an actual, like, they're showing this to people. Look, you can come, you can experience this. Eric is saying it well. He could have just said, we break your spirit and then brainwash you. Yes. Such a push to do that. Such a push. Declare Dave loves suppressive Sherry. They also want to get your kids between 12 to 17 on the free wins for a teen convention this summer. Just went over this last night. Same. We went over it, I think it was yesterday. And this video is from that. It's from a bunch of stuff that was sent to people to promote this upcoming teen conference where they do competency and leadership, where they do this. Oh, sounds very militant. It is. It is. And it's so much of what I would say is like one of the remaining, not as much now, but I still find myself in moments of it where it is not always my first instinct to think about what I would want when I'm being asked, even, right? Like, even, would you like chocolate or vanilla? I'm like, what would, let's see, is any melting? Do we need to get rid of it? Like, I get strategic about it. What is the best possible way to do this? It's an obsession with being overly efficient at times. And there are times when that comes in handy, but for the vast majority of time, why can't I simply look at it like, what do I like? What do I prefer? That's something that I work on all the time, and I have to really make an effort to think about it. It drives Tony crazy because he's always telling me, would you like this? Would you like this? What would he'd be something as simple as, what would you like for dinner? And I'd be like, well, are there leftovers? Because if so, we should eat them because we don't want them to go bad. Now, that's not a ridiculous statement, but he always says, no, what do you want? Like, what do you really want? What do you desire to eat in this moment? I cannot answer that question. I'm too hung up on what's the most effective way of eating and getting rid of food. It's a dumb little example, but I think you kind of get the point of how moving forward in life, you have to you got to change your thinking about that, and realizing that as an individual, it's okay for me to have a preference on what kind of bread I like to eat, not just what's given to me, like in the Sea Org, whatever is in the chow line, what is there is there. I have control over that. All right. So you guys are probably as grossed out as me from seeing that. So let's never watch it again, although we probably will. And now we can do a little bit of a brain scrub. And everybody who's newly joining us, please form a line, head over to the like button, tap and smash it. I would appreciate that. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at Liz Gale. Liz Gale, this is from her TikTok, and she's covering the crying, who's Elizabeth, who's becoming known as the crying cake mom, because she made this video about being sad that she's spending her birthday, alone, and it went viral. And then it turns out her ex-husband is being accused of making this hate website about her. And they're just going back and forth. It's a hot mess and a half. It really is. I don't know what or where the truth lies, but there is this question of, is he or is he not a Scientologist? Let's take a look at, this is from TikTok. Link down below. If you are not following Liz Gale on TikTok, you are missing out. Check this out. Let's see what she has to say here.
I get it. I wouldn't want to be associated with Scientology either. Andrew here is insisting that despite what his ex-wife says, he is not a Scientologist.
Number one, I'm not a Scientologist. Don't even know how that came about.
See, right there, it's like, you know where this came about.
Andrew has created websites, TikToks, essentially everything since I left him. I think that is probably the Scientologist aspect of his life.
So that's so interesting because this is kind of how it came up, right? She was saying that, well, he's attacking me in these ways because he's a Scientologist. Now, is that on brand? Yes, for a Scientologist, especially somebody who maybe has been on staff or done more training in Scientology. Now, here's the other thing, because he does say in the video that he did not create the website. Doesn't mean he didn't have anything to do with it. I have no information proving otherwise. But one thing we know about now, let's go with the scenario that he's a Scientologist. I don't know for sure if he is a Scientologist. Not answering the question, saying I didn't create the website could be true. He didn't physically create it. Doesn't mean he didn't have anything to do with it, right? We see this all the time with Scientologists. It's called a no answer or an acceptable truth or a short story. These are lies Scientologists are allowed to tell to protect Scientology. Did someone else make it for him? Maybe they did. Was it? I have no evidence of this. Is there someone in his life that maybe is a hardcore Scientologist and is directing this? I don't know. Maybe. It's just weird. It's weird one to do. People get on social media and they sling hate at each other all the time. I get that, right? Most people don't go as far as making a hate website. Who does though? Who does? Why does this sound familiar? Who makes hate websites about people? That's right, Scientology. Oh, so anyways, let's get back to this because there is more.
If you go on the website, there's actually Scientologist links.
Ah, yes, the website, because Scientology is absolutely involved here. Let me tell you what, there is a hate website, a smear campaign website against her. And, you know, shocking, we're back to she said, he said. She says that her ex-husband, Andrew, has this website, doxing her, analyzing years of her social media, and linking to a page about third-party law that goes directly to a Scientology website.
Now that right there, for me, it's like, okay, that just reeks of Scientology. No person, I would find it really hard to believe, would create any type of website or anything that wasn't somehow tied to Scientology, quoting Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard and using that as a point of reference. Even going through to go this far, to put all this together, to go and analyze social media posts and all that, you got time on your hands. And that again is not something that like, hey, I've got exes in my life. Yeah, I have 2 ex-husbands and a baby daddy and other serious relationships in the past. I cannot imagine a scenario, and most of them were Scientologists, where I would be creating a hate website, or let's just call it a website about them and their business and sharing their business like that, even if it were true. Because we all do dumb stuff, right? We've all made mistakes in our past. Should we be judged by our biggest bad act? I'm just saying there's so much more. There's so much you could take out of context to make someone look a certain way. And I'm not saying she is this way, she isn't that way. I honestly don't know. Same with him. But to take it that far with a website and then quote an actual Scientology thing, it's like, I don't know. And then on top of it, you live in Clearwater. Now, again, that doesn't mean for sure, but it's got a lot of, walks like, quacks like. And I don't know if it's him on his own or he has somebody there who's telling him this is all a good idea. But yeah, the only people who are going to suffer here are those kids, not either one of these two. It's going to be the children. I mean, there's going to be blowback on both of them. This is the internet, but I just think it's interesting that it's still going on like this. And link down below, you can see the full video there that Liz Gale did on TikTok. It's excellent. And see, you guys tell me in the chat, tell me in the comments, what are your thoughts about this? Is he a Scientologist? Was he a Scientologist? It definitely seems Scientology directed. And she's been accused of some pretty egregious things too. Whether she did them or not, I don't know. It's just weird to take it this far. It's bizarre. It is, it is, it is. Hey, Dusty Soda Dispenser. Hip, hip, hooray. I'm having a cult-free day. Good morning from Coldwater. You are in the belly of the beast, Dustin. That's right. The belly of the beast. Now, there's one other thing I wanted to point out about this story before we move on. There's a New York Times article that came out. New York Post. New York Post article that came out talking about it. Now, they've got 2 kids, and tell me in the comments, correct me if I get these any of these facts wrong. Hey, Liz Gale. Thanks, Nat. Both the Cupcake Mom and the ex have taken their content off TikTok now, but the hate site still stands strong. Interesting. Interesting. Liz, tell me what you think about this. You may or may not already know it. Okay, so in this article, you know, it talks about the whole thing, right? Single mom making a birthday cake so her babies can be happy. Bitter back and forth. He's abusive and a member of the Church of Scientology are her claims. So she's 29. He's 37. So what is that? 8 years. He's 8 years older. No big deal. That's not a big deal. My last husband was 16 years older than me. Here's the thing, though. The article goes on to talk about, well, one, she says, I think it's probably the Scientologist aspect of his life. Getting out of a Scientologist mindset in a relationship is not a good thing or an easy thing. She is correct about that. Here's the thing. Where is it? Where is it? She talks about how she does see her children. There he is. She also goes on to say that he's not, nor has he ever been abusive to the children, and he never would. How he told her, if you sign these papers, this was during their divorce, nothing will change. And when you see them, I will not ruin your life. I will leave you alone. That's what she's saying her ex-husband said. I will not ruin your life. I will leave you alone. It just sounds, who says that? It's just another weird thing to say that for me goes into like, okay, if you're not a Scientologist, you definitely have a lot of characteristics of one if this is true. All right. So this talks about when she had her first child. Here, listen to this. This is her talking. Since I have been 16 years old and became a mother, I've devoted my life and my time to being a mom. But there has never been a time that my children have been unsafe in my care, she said, again, admitting she has gone out with friends in the past while being a mother. Yeah, moms are allowed to go out. So are dads. Now, since I've been 16 years old and became a mother, did she become a mom at 16? Liz, do you know? That's how I'm reading it there. Link down below for the full article so you can see it. If she became a mom at 16 and he's 8 years older, what would that make him? 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, like 23 or so, something like that at the time. And she was 16. When I was 16 and became a mother, it sounds to me like she's saying I became a mom at 16. I don't know how old the kids are. She's 27 now. I don't know, but that struck me as like, okay, wait a minute here. Let's back it up on that a little bit. For that age, that is a huge age difference. And it just sounds, Pixie says, a groomer, right? It's weird. It's just another piece of the puzzle, I guess. I did not know this, and this is what I'm reading. Okay, so Liz is saying he's the dad of her 2 littlest girls. I think she was an adult when she met the ex, Andrew. Okay, so she must have maybe an older child? I'm thinking maybe not, but we're going to find out because I'm curious. I'm just curious about it and how this is moving forward. It's very interesting. Most of all, that now apparently one of the worst things you could do is call somebody a Scientologist. You're acting like a Scientologist. You may have never been a Scientologist, but I love that this might be the new trending thing. Like, you know, like how Karen became like Karen. And I'm so sorry to all the good Karens out there that this happened. I know you don't like it. I laughed about it a ton. It is kind of funny, but probably because my name isn't Karen, that has to be horrible. What if it's now Scientologist? You're such a Scientologist. Look at him being a Scientologist. Hashtag Scientologist. Because of the behavior, because of the when you think about, and I want to say mainly too, this is like staff member, Sea Org member, Scientology kind of behavior. Not that the Scientology public didn't do this type of thing either. But interesting. Other interesting thing is the lawsuit against David Miscavige has been postponed. Let's take a little look at a video by Growing Up in Scientology and see what he has to say about it.
David Miscavige and Scientology filed a motion against this lawsuit to have it dismissed. It was an anti-SLAPP motion. SLAPP is strategic lawsuit against public participation. That is the term for a lawsuit that is basically a frivolous lawsuit meant to curb someone's free speech. And an anti-SLAPP motion is when you try to get one of those lawsuits thrown out by arguing, these guys are just trying to silence us. So imagine Scientology trying to argue to a judge that Danny Masterson's victims are just trying to silence their Scientology's free speech. Okay, so the judge in the case completely ruled against Scientology in that. The victims, Danny Masterson's victims in this case, and there are plaintiffs in this case in addition to just some of Danny Masterson's victims, but the plaintiffs in this case.
So link down below for the full video so you can get all of the details there. Backing up a little bit, Liz Gale says, if he was into Scientology, he isn't anymore. LOL. He says he isn't a Scientologist many times. That could very well be true. If I were writing fan fiction about this, I'd be like, he got a new girlfriend or something, because that's just, it's like really petty, you know, what's happening. And maybe that person's a Scientologist. I'm not saying she is, or that's the situation. I'm just saying that that's where my mind speculates. It's total speculation. I don't know that for sure, but you got an ex and a baby mama, and you got him, and you have this behavior, and you have this website, and he's not a Scientologist. Somebody is. Somebody is. You don't go around quoting L. Ryan Hubbard and Scientology in 2024. Even Scientologists don't do that. I mean, obviously, I think somebody connected to Scientology is doing this, but it's like ridiculous. They're mostly embarrassed and don't want people to know that they're a Scientologist. Honestly, most people, even people who get wins and gains out of Scientology, often will keep it to themselves because they know what the reputation of Scientology is out there. Let's go take a look at Scientology Up North. Scientology Up North had a talk with a Scientologist who was talking about seeing that Sea Org members are well fed and that a lot of them love keto. The keto diet. I thought this was interesting. Let's take a little look.
Actual proof of the fact that, like in Sea Org, for example, people are not getting enough food, and I'm thinking courses are quite expensive, and they are volunteering basically because they get 200 krona per week pay. But they're not getting enough food on the table.
That's interesting you say that, because actually what I see is the opposite. They have Nordland, you know the Nordland?
Yes.
And I see the food they get is very high quality. There's even, you know, keto.
Yes.
But even there's keto. You say I'm keto. I was a flag, and you say keto. Oh, keto. The staff are on keto. Some are not.
Yeah, some are vegetarians.
Yeah. But
that's fine. But normal people, I mean, most of the people are not really getting as much food as they should.
Yeah. So of course Scientologists really like keto, but I see that they're well fed. I wrote a lot this year.
You know, the thing is, it sounds like, you know, he's a Scientologist and he's been to Flag. He goes to the restaurant at Flag in Clearwater and says, I'm keto. I need keto food. Well, of course, in the restaurant, they're going to give that to you. One, it's a restaurant. Secondly, it's Flag. They're catering to Scientologists. I don't know that the same could be said for the staff. Maybe I'm not there witnessing what they're doing today. I know back in my day, gathering for a little back in my day, you could not make special requests for food or a special diet that you were on unless you were a very senior executive in Scientology. Then you could. You could have a little bit of them extras. But otherwise, no, nobody's running around working at the Advanced Organization of Los Angeles and be like, I'm keto now. I mean, you probably could do keto because they do a lot of protein and vegetables anyways for the meals. And that is honestly feeding the crew and the meals. When I was there was not, it wasn't, how do I describe it? It was like cafeteria food and stuff because they fed a lot of people. But it wasn't as bad as you would think it is. Some people even liked it. In fact, Aaron I always thought this was a little odd. Over at Growing Up in Scientology has talked about the food not being too bad and liking it. You know what? For me, it's probably because like I'm just not a fan of vegetables. And they did serve them, but I thought that was interesting that that was his point of view. Oh, staffer, well, they're fed great because they're all doing keto. And I'm not saying keto is good, bad, or indifferent. It's just interesting because you've got that Scientologist here on YouTube, Dr. Berg, who promotes the keto diet. And I know many people have benefited from it. I'm not saying either way. I've done it a couple times. It's more that, being a Scientologist, a lot of Scientologists will follow you because you're a Scientologist and listen to what you say. I think people should do the diet that they best need for their bodies based on the advice of their doctors and what their health condition is, because not everybody can do that either. Interesting. So now take a look at this. This is a new channel, new to me, I should say, Nico YEG Squirrel. And you can find this channel and many others on sptv.space. With the creators, you can find people live streaming and protesting Scientology all over the world. This is one of the newer ones, so I just wanted to point it out to you guys in case you too are not aware of it. Take a look.
Okay.
Appreciate
so we'll
it.
see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
2 o'clock.
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay.
Thank you. All right.
See you later.
Take care.
Hey, Dave. How you doing? Hey, Dave.
I'm in danger.
This is a funny little video short, and I do believe that she's going to get the results of that personality test and do a follow-up. So check out that channel, link down below. It's new to me. I just described to find out like what the deal is. Catherine, yes, exactly. Natalie, you have only one kidney. Be careful with keto, truly. And really, honestly, I probably do more of a low carb paleo when I'm trying to pay attention and watch more, which I'm going to be need to be doing soon, because I swear every pound that Tony loses, I gain like 2. So it's interesting to watch. But yes, I am aware of that. That is definitely something I got to be careful of. But thank you for remembering that and helping me take care of myself. I appreciate that. Marissa saying, oh my God, Nico only has 13 subscribers. Let's fix that. That was the video we just shared. Nancy, if she didn't already put up a link to that channel, she will. You guys can check it out. Yep, she did. It's right there. So get over there and show some love. I'd love to see what happens after this person gets back the results of that personality test. Steph, this is awesome. You're donating a kidney on June 11th. Thank you for doing that. Thank you so much. I have one kidney because I gave one to my mom, and you can live perfectly fine for a long time with just one. You just need one. Tony, my Tony has one kidney because he had a kidney removed when he was first diagnosed with kidney cancer and an aggressive form of prostate cancer at the same time. So he had 2 organs removed. So we always joked because I have one side and he has the other side, and together we have a pair. But thank you for doing that. That organ donation is not easy, but needed. And I mean, you literally save a life. All right, let's see here. Where are we at? Oh, you guys. So I don't know if you caught the whole video with Phil Jones. Now, Phil Jones and his wife, Willie, have been exposing Scientology for a long time. They were involved in getting the billboard up. They did a billboard some years ago near Sea Org members trying to reach their children. Their story is heartbreaking, but their actions are inspiring in what they've done to expose Scientology. They've been at protests out in Canada. I've been working on setting up an interview with Phil. We've had to go back and forth a few times because, I mean, y'all know what my life is like. I do the morning recap, and after that, it's different every single day, just depending on what's happening. So we've had to kind of pivot with that. And with a few other people. Thank you so much, I want to say, for your patience with Phil and other people too, where I know we're working on getting some interviews done. I just realized like this week, I got to slow it down a little bit and put a few more ducks in a row so that I don't have to keep rescheduling with people. So that's kind of what I'm doing. But anyways, Phil and Willie, their story has always fascinated me, which is why I want to sit down and talk to them. Well, one of his last videos that he shares an incident that happened that his wife witnessed at the Fort Harrison Hotel in Clearwater. I'm going to let them tell the story, and then let's talk about this. Get ready.
In Florida, Willie is a floral designer, and she started doing flowers for Flag. And so she would sometimes go over to deliver flowers, and she would go kind of in through the back way, through the galley, through the kitchen. And she came home one day and she told me that she'd walked through, this is horrible, a kid, how old?
Maybe
6, 7 years old, standing on a crate, washing pots and pans. Floor to ceiling pots and pans. And it was like, oh my God, like how, we told somebody about it, didn't we? I think we reported that, but you never hear back. Oh, we'll handle it. In Florida, Willie is a floral designer.
What in the world? Oh my gosh. Did you guys hear that? So Willie was a florist in Florida. She was doing flowers for Flag, Scientology's hotel. She goes in through the kitchen to deliver them, and she sees this 6, 7-year-old child standing on a crate with a pile up to the ceiling of pots and pans that this child on a crate is washing. I just cannot. It's so gross. And this is exactly a lot of what we talk about. I don't know. I just can't even imagine a scenario. I mean, like, I was hardcore with my kids, you know, on account of growing up in a cult. And I believed in having them help out around the house and all that. But even I would not have taken it that far at 6 or 7. Maybe like, hey, let's pick up your toys or something like that. This is a child who should be playing with toys at 6, 7 years old. This is my grandson's age. This is Oliver's age. Even though Oliver would rock doing dishes if he wanted to, that and in that amount, the time that it would take, it is completely inappropriate. And I know it's not going to surprise many of you, but it's happening. Oh, I'm just like almost speechless over that. But nonetheless, keep an eye out on his channel, link down below. Nancy probably shared a link in the comments where you can subscribe, because they're going to be creating more content. And soon we're going to sit down and do an interview, because I'm really excited to talk to them and find out more about their story and their kids and just the whole thing. Now let's talk about Austin. Let's talk about Austin and Pearl Snappy. Pearl Snappy was out over there in Austin, and these college kids come up. She's becoming a staple. Her and Selfless Self, who you can also see in this shot, are becoming staples. And I don't know, you might even say they're becoming well known. And well, just look at this. It's super cute. This is so cute.
Garage apartment.
Yeah, I do. Can we take a picture with you?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah, of course.
iconic. She's an icon.
That's right. Here, y'all want to get in? You guys can get in the live.
Oh, there's a live stream?
That's right. Yeah, I'm live.
On?
I got 208 in there right now.
Hi, guys. We up in this bitch.
That's right.
Wait, why is it not in here? Oh, you're taking it. Oh, who's taking it? Have him take it. You want to get in the photo? Can I wear the hat? Can you take a photo of us? Yes. Oh. ¿Puedes tomar una foto, por favor? Gracias.
Okay. Go on.
Yeah, you are.
Me.
I love that she puts on the hat.
Parking garage apartment.
It's just the best. This is not the first and only time that this has happened. And we see it in other areas too. People joining protests and jumping in for fun, for the honks. They know about it. They know about Scientology and they want to participate. And I thought that was so cute. It's right across from a college. Word is getting out. And yes, Anna, Pearl Snappy is now a tourist attraction. Exactly. Oh, it was so funny. Yes, Pearl is awesome. Jamzilla says, and the curly-haired little man is wearing a Deftones t-shirt. Deftones. I'm assuming that's a band. I don't know who that is. Deftones. Sounds vaguely familiar. Now I'll have to go look that up and find out. Treasure Rescue. Pearl is a rock star. Becky says, that's my Pearl. Hey, Becky. Just love seeing that. Love it so much. Be sure, you guys, when you see something, say something. Email your clips, your links to videos with timestamps, articles to Natalie at lifeafteroccult.com. It helps me know what you guys are talking about. We can share it here on the channel. Oh, Asen says it's a great band. Okay, it does sound, when's it from? Like, what are the years? Cynthia says, I got pregnant to the Deftones. Okay. Was it like the 80s or the 90s? Is it? Does anyone know? You'll have to tell me. Tell me what you know about it too in the comments if you're still if you're catching it on the replay. Jen Nelson, thank you so much for this. Sent you and my Tony a card. Thank you. We've been loving the cards so much. Thank you, all of you, for sending them. Not only do Tony and I go through and read them, but we make them available for family when they come over. His son was here the other day reading them. My sister, just people who come to visit. I have them all in this wooden box and take them out and share them with people so they get to see the amazing support. And I wanted to thank everybody again too for all of the gifts off the Amazon wish list. We have been doing a ton of moving around and getting Tony set up with everything that we think is going to help to just make him as comfortable as possible. And so much of this is coming from you guys, and so many things that are helpful too, even things that we didn't think about that have become in really handy, and so much that, like I said, is just helping to create a as comfortable as possible, just nice space, a couple of spaces like that where he can hang and be, that are just comfortable. And then when people come to visit, that they can hang and be as well, and be in that ambiance. We've put candles on there, just things that will just help, just help make it comfortable. Virginia, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much for that and for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you, Anna. So much love to Tony, you and his kids. I appreciate that a ton. Big day today. We are actually going to oncology today to have a whole bunch of conversations, some very difficult ones. He has another infusion scheduled today. So in a little bit, we're going to head out and go do all of that stuff. And yeah, that's what we're doing. It's just like the next hour, I pretty much know what I'm doing for the most part. And then I figure out the next hour after that. But my point, though, is just want to thank all of you again. You guys have just gone above and beyond, especially our moderators. Nancy's done way too much. And all of the moderators and your support, and everybody here, just thank you so much. It honestly helps. Even the messages, the emails, the comments, all of it, just being here, your support means everything. Just even that you're watching, we appreciate it so much, so much. So thank you guys for that. I think we've got everything. I want to do a room raid though on the way out. Let's go to Z News. Now, Z News is key in getting the SPTV space up and going. Z News and Fluffer Squirrel UK, who you guys see here and who does those wonderful paint and ponder. Just love those. But Z News is out at, I want to say, is it Kansas City? I think. Is that Kansas City? Can anybody recognize it? I want to say that's Kansas City. Hold on. Turn the volume on. See if she's there. There she is. Doing some chalk tech. So she may see it. She may not. But everybody, as you're leaving here, if you got time, please get over there and show Xenu some love. Show her some aloha. Go over there and do a big old raid. Give her some support. She's out there nice and early doing the chalk tech, sharing the SPTV Foundation number. Oh, it is Kansas City. Okay, thanks, Peace Lady. Awesome. I thought it was, and I thought she was out there at Kansas City. But she's doing a lot. So get on over there if you can. Say hello. Let me put, Oh, good. Nancy's got a link over there in the chat. Here we go. To get to Z News there, you can see her channel. Get over there and like and subscribe and show her a lot of love. Give her a big old aloha raid. Okay, everybody. Thank you for getting over there and doing that. Thank you so much for being here. And most of all, everybody, I hope everybody gets out there and has the most amazing cult-free day.